How's it going, everyone? My name is Ryan Burke. I'm a senior partner at Leadership and Design. We're an organization that works with educators all over the country, and primarily we work on strategic design problems or collaboration, or some of the leadership skills and mindsets that people are trying to develop. And we say that we're experienced designers working on help design experiences for those of you that are impacting the future of teaching and learning. So excited to be here with you today. I had a chance to work with Amy Oliveri, who's a member of your cohort, which is how I got to be talking with you today. And I am an expert in design thinking. If by expert you mean somebody who has failed many, many times and has all sorts of failure stories to tell. So that's how I got in front of you today. The question is the design thinking process vital as something for us to be doing in schools? And I would say probably not. I don't think there's anything particularly special about the design thinking process. It's like a lot of fads in education. But there are a couple aspects of it that I think are vital. And, these couple aspects, as you pull them out and extract them from the process, I think are much more powerful sort of pulled out than sort of packaged into whatever process you may be looking at. You're probably looking at the Stanford D School model. So I think one of the things we found at Leadership and Design is that when you teach design thinking as a process, people get so hung up on following the steps of the process that they forget to actually think like a designer. And so the way we've packaged it up at Leadership and Design is much more about the mindset of designers and the skill set of designers, and how can we as educators adopt some of those mindsets and skill sets. And so I think the two main or most vital pieces of that are empathy. Empathy is the first part of the Stanford D School model of design thinking, and really it just means that before you start solving a problem or designing a solution to a particular issue, you have to really understand who you're designing with or for. And they have all sorts of ways to build empathy, but one of the best stories that articulates this point is that story that was all over the media, where a police officer had bought a pair of boots for a homeless man that was sitting on the New York streets without any shoes. And it went viral, and everyone thought this police officer had just done this incredibly wonderful thing. And he went on, the Today Show and talked to Ellen. And don't get me wrong, it was a very, very nice thing for that police officer to do. But a reporter went back and did a follow-up story, came back a couple months later and found that homeless man still was not wearing any shoes. And when they asked that homeless man about those shoes, he said, "Those shoes are valuable. I could lose my life." And I think it's just a perfect example of the police officer had such a good intention, but he really didn't understand the problem, or the user, the person who was going to be using the shoes. And if he had understood that homeless man's problem a little bit more specifically, he may have been able to intervene in a way that had more of a lasting effect. And so I think empathy is vital. But that's true of the design thinking process, but it's also true if you're just trying to stay married or have a friend or out in the hallway. So I think teaching empathy is vital. Two, I think the process, the sort of the skill of showing your work early and getting feedback quickly and iterating all the way throughout the process is another huge and vital skill set. And I think the designers do this. So designers don't sit in their office, create something special, and then come out after a couple of months and show everyone. They show people right from the start, and they get feedback right from the start so that they can figure out what's wrong with their work early in the process. And I think educators really suck at this. We tend to think that everything we do is awesome, and so we like to kind of guard it until we show people, and then we show them in a way that makes it clear that if you don't like it, there's something wrong with you, which is really the opposite of what would be helpful in terms of improving our ideas. And so I think this concept of showing your work often, getting feedback quickly, taking that feedback and iterating is vital. What would I recommend for somebody who's new to design thinking, keeping in mind that I spent 4.5 minutes on question number one and I was only given 5 minutes total, so I'll try and be quick. Dive in. Teachers in general, we're bad at trying new things. We're slow, we're tentative, and I think we've got to get over that. In 2018, the world's moving too fast for us to sort of dip our toe in the water. So read everything you can, try it in your classroom, fail epically, let everybody see it. Make it about the kids, not about you. Reach out and ask for help, and most importantly, have fun. Have kids design lessons for them with you. I think one of the greatest things I've learned from design thinking is you design with, not for. So if it's kids that I'm designing with, I have to involve them in the process, and the chances of getting a better result go way up just by doing it that way. And all I have to do to get there is give up my expert status. What's the biggest lesson that I've learned teaching design thinking? Well, a couple of things. Number one, teachers take themselves way too seriously. Teachers like to talk for a really long time before they build anything, and I would recommend flipping that, which is build something while you're talking and you have something to talk about. I think it's really hard to introduce design thinking with a design challenge that is very near and dear to teachers' hearts. So you can't start by redesigning the faculty meeting or redesigning some sort of really important initiative or program at your school, because people will get too caught up in the actual challenge and they won't really be able to learn metacognitively about the different mindsets and skill sets of design thinking. So pick something easy, pick something sort of non-threatening, and then work your way up to equity and inclusion and the other conversations that we need to be having in our schools that carry some weight and emotion with them. So I would say, my takeaways are just push teachers to have fun, laugh, collaborate, mess up, and kind of break down some of those habits and kind of old ways of being that we have in our profession, where everybody's just walking around trying to protect their reputation as somebody who's smart, and just get in the pool with all the kids and mix it up and tackle some sort of a problem that actually has value in the world. Good luck. Reach out. Love to talk to you. Leadership and design would love to help in any way we can, even if it's just cheering you on from the sidelines. So take care.